How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what possibly could be the meta on FIFA 21. I managed to get quite a few games under my belt now on FIFA 20, getting an understanding of what's working, what's not working, what's similar, what's completely different to the previous games, and all of that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd share this video with you because I'm getting a lot of questions from people saying, what works? What's the meta? What players should I be getting? What should I be doing? How should I be using it? So I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. If you do enjoy the video, please let me know by giving it a like. You can subscribe to the channel. We do upload twice a day, 8 AM and 8 PM. We do stream over on twitch.tv/FIFA Analyst. Link is in the description to all that sort of good stuff for everything in there. So then, the FIFA 21 meta. What is the meta, first of all? As in, what does it mean? The meta normally is the most effective way to guarantee that, well, to assure that you are going to have the best chance at winning that game. The meta is, like on FIFA 20, was slow. It was being patient. It was being methodical. It was being, taking your time. It was working it down the wing and then down the line and looking for a cutback. FIFA 17, FIFA 18, it was quicker. It was looking for the low drivens. On FIFA 20, it was going near post. You cross a ball on FIFA 20, you're not going to score. If that's the way that you played, you weren't playing to the quote-unquote meta. Do you have to play the meta way? No, you can still win games by not playing the meta way. Do you have to use meta players? No, you can still win games. However, it gives you the best possible chance at getting those high results in FUT Champs, Weekend League, all that sort of stuff. So then, let's talk about it. First of all, what I think is the major change which influences the meta on FIFA 21. And we're going to start off with shooting, first of all. To me, the buff to shooting that we've had is absolutely phenomenal. Last year, it was near post, near post, near post. What did that mean for you when you played against someone, or when you were defending? You knew that if they were going to do a drag back, they were going to do last goal, ball roll, whatever it was, they were going to look for that near post. By the way, in the background, you've just got some FIFA 21 gameplay that I've been playing. They'd look for the near post pretty much all the time. What is this year? A cross goal works. Near post still works in certain scenarios, but it's nowhere near as effective as it once was. But the finesse shots are strong. All sort of angles allow you to shoot and give you a very viable option at putting the ball in the back of the net. What does that work? What does that mean for you as a defender? Well, it means that you got to think about it more. Which way are they going to go in? There's also been a change to the jockeying system, which means that defending's a little bit harder. So people are struggling a little bit more on that. Let me know down in the comment section if you want a defending tutorial. I'll try and get one done as and when I feel comfortable with it as well. So that change to the shooting, the change to the meta, just means that for you as a player, you've got to think about stuff a little bit more when defending, or even when you're going forward. When it comes to strikers that you might be using, then you still want to use agile strikers. You still want to have someone that can turn, that's got 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. I even think 5-star skill moves this year is going to be a little bit more crucial than it was last year, just to break through those defending. And this all goes in turn with something else in a little minute, which I will talk to you about. The next sort of thing that we talk about with regards to the meta is the pace. Pace has had a downgrade across the board for all the cards. Everyone's slower on their base card this year. But the game, you can notice when someone feels quick, right? If you get a striker that's rapid and Mbappe come up against a slow defender and PK, you can see the difference there, and that really, really helps when bursting away. The main difference that I'm going to say regards to FIFA 20 to FIFA 21 when it comes to picking your team is that you can have a striker that's got a bit of pace, but has also got a bit of height to him, and a bit of strength and a bit of physicality. If they can still turn and have their agile dribbling and whatnot, then that's fantastic. The reason why for that, the next thing which influences the meta is crossing. You're sat there going, I've probably scored about 5 cross goals on FIFA 20. I've scored more than that already on FIFA 21. How viable is crossing? The crossing in itself is the hard part. The heading is the easier part. I changed my controller settings to manual heading instead of assisted, and that makes heading a lot better. When you are there at a set piece on a corner, a free kick kind of in and around that sort of area, you can whip it in and you can be dangerous from that. That changes the mentality for you as a defender. You need to know you don't want to give away, corners or set pieces too easily because they're so dangerous when it comes into that scenario. So that then means that instead of going for that normal double tap pass across that you would on FIFA 20, the guy might back off a little bit because he's expecting you to cross it. And it's like mind games. It's constantly messing with you as the defender and making you think about it. And it's giving you more options in attack. Now, all of this sounds good. We've got a buff to shooting. We've got a buff to crossing. Pace is there at the minute. We can see the difference in pace. what has changed in a bad way so far from what I have witnessed on FIFA 21 compared to FIFA 20. Dribbling to me seems worse. I thought it was okay at the start. I've been trying to use the agile dribbling. I'm not a massive fan of it, if I'm perfectly honest with you, but dribbling itself with just the left stick doesn't feel as slick and smooth. I'm probably going to need to adapt and start using some of the close dribbling, agile dribbling and so on to make it work. But for the general, I think, player base, just left stick dribbling isn't as good as it once was. So that then means that it's actually much harder for you to just walk through and dribble past some defenders inside the box. Those little tight touches are a lot harder. So that gives the opponent the chance to come and defend and take the ball off you. Tackling, I mean, tackling again on FIFA 21 doesn't matter. You don't need to do that. It just doesn't work when you try and tackle, which is a little bit annoying. Jockeying, as I said, has had a change to it. It's slower, it's harder. I'm feeling okay with it, but I know that a lot of the player base is struggling with that at the minute. Now, the creative runs, everyone thought that was going to be the change to the meta. Because the tactics haven't changed this year, I think when we get to FIFA Foot Champs, our first Foot Champs, I actually think it's going to feel very similar to FIFA 20 because that tactic system hasn't changed one little bit. However, they gave us creative runs. The creative run system, to me, is too fiddly and it doesn't work how I would like it to. I'm tapping LB. If you don't know what it is, you tap L1. Normally, your guy, if you tap L1 to send someone a run, they just run in a straight line towards the goal. Now you can flick the right analog stick in a direction and tell them, run diagonally down the pitch, run where you want. When I try and get them to do that, my guy on the ball ends up doing step overs, ball rolls, whatever, and it's really frustrating. So I don't use them too much. What I'm using differently, which you may have seen, is where you click the analog sticks in and you then change to the player that's no longer on the ball and you make the run yourself, and that is crucial. So I think that's a tool in your locker to help you unlock anyone that's playing defensive, drop back and so on, which then means that the meta may shift a little bit because playing drop back may not be as viable because you've got the options to finesse from long range. You've got the option to use the creative runs in a way that works. You can just boot it into the box and hope for a cross. So sitting back and trying to hit people on the counter might not be as kind of the go-to way to score on FIFA 21. That depends though. I'm saying this with take it with a pinch of salt. That depends on how Foot Champs goes. If everyone goes, I'm going to go 2 depth, one width and drop back and I'm just going to sit there, it's hard to say really until we get to it, especially with patches that can happen on the game. EA can change things like that, so we need to keep an eye on it. At the minute, it looks okay. I am playing a lot of drafts, a lot of division rivals, and at the minute, I'm not coming up against too many people that seem to have messed around with custom tactics too much, so that is one thing to bear in mind. As we saw a low driven there, it's one thing I'm trying to notice, are low drivens a little bit more of an option this year. I've not tried too many just yet myself, but it is something that I do need to look into. As a whole, is the meta different on FIFA 21 than it is to FIFA 20 so far from what I've played of it? The game is similar to FIFA 20 in a sense because the tactic system is a change and because a lot of the things are still, very close to it. It's similar. It's still going to benefit possession-based players. It's still going to benefit the guy that's more slower and patient and thinks about his build-up and takes his time in that. That's going to be the competitive top level of FIFA from what we've seen so far. Lower down the scale, is it going to be that way? I'm talking Division 7, Division 6, silver, early gold 3 and whatnot. Probably not. I think with the new features and with the fact that attacking AI is a little bit smarter, it's still not where I want it to be because of the new player positioning and defensive awareness stats and whatnot that EA have given people, and it's helped. VVD is an absolute monster to come up against again. The good left backs, the good right backs will cover any runs, will get the AI blocks in and so on. I think it will be a little bit more open game on that kind of scale, and because you've got the creative runs and the attacking AI being a little bit smarter, it then makes it harder for the lower level players to track those runs and keep an eye on them. So I think it is going to be similar, but at the top level, but not so much at the lower level, if I've explained that well enough. As you saw, a cross-shot goal there, so strong. We won't know, though, as I said, until Foot Champs goes. And the reason why I say that, and take all of this with its early doors, because when Foot Champs comes along, people change their play style. People want the best wins. People are going to sweat that first weekend like there's no tomorrow. Like, literally, it's the sweatiest weekend you'll probably ever witness on any FIFA game. So I could have a different opinion based on then. And also, EA are already saying that there's going to be patches and whatnot, and they're going to be changing stuff. If they change the jockeying and they make defending easier again when it's in a one-on-one jockeying situation, because the defensive AI is still strong, it still tracks the runs, it still does very well on that side, we could go back to a FIFA 20, drop back, sit back, and see from there if people can get by from the finesse shots from the long range and crosses and so on. However, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. If you're wondering what do I think of the game so far, I'm not going to say, oh, it's great, because it's not. You know, it's not the best game out there. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but it's certainly an improvement on the game we had last year. And there is areas that if they worked on second man press and made second man press better, it meant that you could actually press as an individual instead of pressing down and left on the D-pad on team press. It could be a better game. You know, it could be closer to where I'd want it to be. However, so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm happy with it. I'd like to see a few more changes, a few more tweaks to hopefully get us where I would like it to be personally. But you let me know. What do you guys think this game needs to be the perfect footballing game? Let me know down in the comment section below. I do want to thank you all very much for watching this video. I do appreciate your support as always. As I said, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy, if you're not already. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.